Hi, and welcome to Manhattan Theatre Club's workshop on building character. My name is Aaliyah Monty Brown, and I am a teaching artist with MTC. So, how do we build characters that are rich, vibrant, and three-dimensional, that are mirror images of the people that fill the world around us, or reflective of the people who fill our imaginations? How do we create characters that get our audience to lean in, desperate to hear more, that surprise us, that delight us, that scare us, that make us think? This workshop will take place in two parts. In the first part, we will be watching clips from Manhattan Theatre Club's archives. And in the second part, we will be coming up with characters of our own. This is a workshop that's great if you are in a classroom with a group of people or on your own. It is perfect for playwrights, directors, actors, or people with a little bit of extra time on their hands. I hope you enjoy it. I had a wonderful time making it, and let's see where we go. As we watch the three clips, I'm going to ask you to fill out a questionnaire, a character profile. And I tried to make these questions a little bit interesting to get you thinking out of the typical box. So let's look at the questionnaire together. Question 1. What is the first thing you notice about this character? What are the things that just jump out at you? I don't know why, but there was just this first thing I noticed. How old does this character seem? And when I say old, I don't necessarily mean their literal age, but what is their life experience? Is this somebody that has lived a life, even though they may only be like 13? Or is this somebody that's quite old, but there's just something very youthful about them despite? What kind of clothes is this character wearing? Are these hand-me-downs? Are these things that were purchased in an expensive department store? Are they homemade? Is it a uniform of some sort? If this character were an animal, what animal would that be? How do they move? Are they threatening, or are they prey? Are they a hunter? Are they on the lookout? Are they animal that you find in the plains or in an evergreen or in the jungle, in the glaciers? If this character's voice was a genre of music, what would that be? Or is there a certain musical artist that they remind you of, a certain song in particular? Do they speak slow and sultry, or are they quite quick and fast? What is this character's emotional state? Are they happy, sad? Are they looking for love, questioning, nervous? How would you describe their emotional state in the moment that this monologue is taking place? If you were to give this character one gift, literal or figurative, what would it be? The gift of safety, the gift of warmth, the gift of a piece of chocolate cake, the gift of a warm embrace from their mom, the gift of a trip out of town, all expenses paid. And lastly, what do you think might scare this character? I'll leave it at that. Now, obviously, you don't necessarily know the answers to any of these questions. You probably haven't seen the whole play, and that's totally fine. I'm asking you to invent them, to create them. There's really no right or wrong answer here. This is actually what we're using as the jumping off point part for creating your own characters. So watch these carefully. I'll put up the questionnaire at the end of each clip so you can see it and take your time to answer them. While you're watching, you may want to jot down some notes as well. The questionnaire is going to be available on the screen and also as a download. So the choice is yours, what makes it easiest for you to answer them. Enjoy the show. This clip is from The Cake by Bekah Brunstetter. It was performed at New York City's Center Stage 1 in 2019. It was directed by Lynn Meadow. Deborah Jo Rupp plays Della.
See, what you have to do is really, truly follow the directions. That's what people don't understand. People watch the baking shows and they say to themselves, I can do that. I'm going to make a cake from scratch. I'm going to prove to myself that I'm a person who is capable of such a thing. So they go out, they get all the ingredients, bring them all home, set them on the counter. First mistake they make, skimping. Skimping on milk. Skimping on butter. Try and use tofu butter, whatever. Milk made out of nuts. What is this world? You got to get the real stuff, and I don't mean that organic this or that stuff. I don't care whether or not your eggs were ever caged, whether they ever went to the movies. I'm talking about the fat, buddy, full fat, you gotta. Why go to Rome if you're not going to eat the pasta? Why go to France if you're not going to eat the baguette? Second mistake. They read in the cookbooks, whisk the wet ingredients together for 3 minutes, then fold in the dry ingredients in quarter parts. And they think to themselves, I don't really have to do all that, do I? That's just a suggestion. I'll just mix it all together, pop it in an ungreased pan at 350. Hope for the best. Well, I say to those people, you are wrong. If you're not going to give your time and your worship to directions that have been crafted through trial and error, you might as well just do a darn cake from a box, which tastes like Scotch tape dipped in Splenda, if you're asking. If you're going to do it from scratch, you must follow the directions.
Now let's take a moment to fill out the character profile for this first clip. As I mentioned, if you'd like, you could download the character profile from below, or it'll appear on your screen. After the next 2 clips, be sure to pause and take that moment to fill out the character profile for those characters as well. Give yourself as much time as you need, or as much time as the teacher allows. This next clip is from August Wilson's Jitney. It was performed in 2017 at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. It was directed by Ruben Santiago Hudson. The late Anthony Chisholm plays Fielding, and Brandon J. Durden plays Booster.
You gotta have somebody you can count on, you know? Now you take my wife. We've been separated 22 years now. But I ain't never loved nobody the way I love that woman, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
She the only thing in the world that I got. I had a dream once. Oh, it just touched me so. Ooh, I was climbing this ladder. It was a solid gold ladder. And I was climbing on up into heaven. I get to the top of the ladder. I could see all the saints sitting around. And I could see her too, sitting there in her place in glory. But just as I reached the top, my hand starts to slip. I calls out for help. All them saints and angels, St. Peter, everybody, they just sat there and looked at me. She was the only one who left her seat in glory to try to help me to keep from falling back down that ladder. I never forgot that. And when I woke up, tears was all over my face, just running all down in my ears. I laid there and cried like a baby, because it meant so much to me. To find out, after all these years, she still loves me.
That's some heavy drama, my man.
Oh, she loved me all right. I know she do. I ain't seen a woman in 22 years. I know she loved me.
This next scene requires a bit of an explanation. It's from Saint Joan by Bernard Shaw, directed by Daniel Sullivan at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater in 2018. In this scene, Joan, who's the teenage girl who leads France to victory, has just beaten back an army of English invaders. She wants to wipe them out altogether, but her allies and supporters, the king, the generals, the archbishop, believe that she's doomed for failure. In this scene, Joan is played by Condola Rashad, and John Glover plays the archbishop. Daniel Sanjata is playing General Dunois.
See that I'm speaking in vain to a hardened heart. You reject our protection and are determined to turn us all against you. In future, then, fend for yourself, and if you fail, God have mercy on your soul.
That is the truth, Joan. Heed it.
Where would you all have been now if I had heeded that sort of truth? There is no help, no counsel in any of you. Yes, I am alone on earth. I have always been alone. My father told my brothers to drown me if I would not stay to mind his sheep while France was bleeding to death. France might perish if only our lambs were safe. Do not think you can frighten me by telling me that I am alone. France is alone. And God is alone. And what is my loneliness before the loneliness of my country and my God? I see now that the loneliness of God is his strength. What would he be if he listened to all your jealous little counsels? Well, my loneliness will be my strength too. It is better to be alone with God. His friendship will not fail me, nor his counsel, nor his love. In his strength I will dare, and dare again until I die. I will go out now to the common people and let the love in their eyes comfort me for the hate in yours. You will all be glad to see me burnt. But if I go through the fire, I shall go through it to their hearts forever and ever. And so God be with me.
Hey, now that you've seen the 3 clips, turn and talk to a friend. What was their experience like? Did you have any overlaps, similarities that surprised you, or your character profiles wildly different? What were your fears? What were your animals? I'm really interested to hear.